Japanese architecture revolves around the concept of wabi-sabi, which centers around the acceptance of imperfection. The traditional Japanese houses evolved within three periods. The Shindan style derived from the Chinese, which emphasizes grandeur, and next was the Shoin style that was influenced by Zen Buddhism, and they had the key features of tokonoma, which is a place scroll or painting, tatami mat for seatings, and shigadana, which are built-in wall storage shelves. The Sukiya style features the same elements as the Shoin style but further simplified for daily life. Fosters and partners believe that the design of the house embraces its physical and cultural context. The house is located in Kawana, Japan. It was completed in the year 1992. Their client, Mr. Kazuo Akao, embraced the Japanese respect for nature and the Western refinement of steel and glass. The form and proportions of the Kawana house is reminiscent to the three main elements of traditional houses, the first being the roof, the main living space, and finally the elevated floor plane. The simple and lightweight post and beam construction of the Kawana house is a modern representation of the traditional Japanese house. Engawa is an outer corridor which wraps around the traditional Japanese house that is also present in the Kawana house. The open floor plan of the Kawana house reflects a traditional Japanese house as the service and storage spaces were arranged around the perimeter of the living spaces. The setting of Sagami Bay evokes a poetic ambience, hence the Kawana house is positioned to frame picturesque views. Stone pagodas are positioned around the house, and a small tea house of the late Edo period, brought from Shimaine Prefecture, completes the overall composition. In the Kawana house, the ranma has been stripped of its ornamentation, creating windows above the clear sliding doors around the whole house, to increase natural light penetration. Translucent windows act as modernized soji to bring the natural elements indoor. It serves as a light filter and diffuser, providing privacy without isolating the occupant from the outside environment. In traditional Japanese houses, the tatami mat makes up the grid which defines the size of the space. This function has been adapted on the bedroom ceiling, reflecting the aesthetic value of the tatami mat in a fresh manner. In traditional Japanese houses, the floor is elevated off the ground to avoid moisture from deteriorating the wooden floor. The Kawana house adopted this element to elevate the living areas, creating an uninterrupted view to the sea. The timber outer corridors create a rustic appearance emphasized by the principles of wabi-sabi. Woven matting are used as flooring, reflects the use of the tatami mats. Timber beams are replaced by white steel beams to maintain the lightless appearance known in traditional Japanese houses. The tokonoma is a decorative alcove that has been placed in the dining room of the Kawana house. This demonstrates the modern practice to greet guests in the dining room. The Kawana house is a perfect example of modern architecture fused with the essence of vernacular Japanese architecture.